I've noticed that pretty much all the charismatic people I know personally tend to have more of this one social skill. So basically what it is you are more explicit in conversation. So I'm going to demonstrate this with like live interviews. I'll have to find someone, but I'll just give a brief breakdown. Pretty much when you're stating your intentions, when you're showing how much you like someone, when you're talking about the conversation itself, when you're talking about the social event itself, you can be explicit in doing this. You don't have to always stay within the narrow boundaries of a typical conversation. In fact, when you break out of this a bit, it shows more authenticity. And it also just helps people like gauge what you're doing and helps them kind of understand what you want clearer. So, you know, there's less mishaps, less confusions. So there's nine different things I can think of. So number one, actually, I'm gonna try and find someone to talk to so I can show you these in action. So, because like, it's a bit confusing otherwise. Yo, what's up?
It says come say hi.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna ask you, are you in high school?
No, uni student now, first year.
Uni, perfect, yeah. In university classes, do you ever wonder like, is it gonna be okay if I talk to this person next to me, or are they like too busy working?
Sometimes I do get that.
Yeah.
But, so I've actually moved here from a different city.
Oh yeah,
and
nice.
I've come to experience that it doesn't actually, like, I don't know anyone here, right?
Yeah,
and
true.
that kind of gets rid of a lot of constraints here.
Yeah.
So I can just talk to people, like even right now.
Yeah.
I can just go up to you, talk to you with confidence.
Exactly, yeah.
And just meet new people. So whenever I see someone in class and try and talk with them, I'll talk with them. And if they respond, well then we talk. And if not, well then I leave them be and they enjoy their work.
Exactly, yeah. That's good. You seem very confident, which is great.
A little bit, yeah. I literally saw a sign that says come say hi, and I was like, I'll do it.
Exactly. That's exactly what you need to do, I reckon. Thank you.
It was good meeting you.
Yeah.
Keep doing this, all right?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so in that one, let's see, what did I do? I didn't do many of them. I did do one of them, which was I said, you seem like a very confident person. It's an observation. And then after I said that, he kept yapping for a bit. I mean, he wasn't yapping. It was good. He was talking. So sometimes like a compliment is like an invitation to keep talking or a conversation starter. And it also shows that you're confident. So there's different types of compliments. You can go like, you're so funny, or you can make an observation about something they're doing, right? So you can go, wow, you seem so passionate about that. Wow, you were just really funny just then. When you do that, you're reinforcing a certain behavior, not just going, you're so funny in general. So it's kind of a bit more personalized, a bit more targeted, so it can often come across as nicer. So if you want to be charismatic, you need to be nice, and that's one of the ways you can do it. Also, you can sometimes tack these onto the front of a question, so you can go, you seem really passionate about this, tell me more. It's quite an explicit thing to say compared to just like asking a follow-up question, going, you seem really passionate about this, and then asking the question. It just adds a little bit. It shows that you're honest as well. Another thing you can do which shows authenticity is you can explicitly state your thought process before you do something or when you're doing something. So when you're talking to someone, you can be like, oh, I wasn't sure whether to come over here. I wasn't sure if you were like locked in on work or anything. Or like, I don't know, I was debating whether to like come say hi to you or just talk to you tomorrow or something. When you say this, you're being really authentic. You're showing like, oh, this guy is open to being vulnerable. And when you do that, the other person then feels like they can be like a human as well. They don't have to hide all their flaws. So people can be relaxed around you. And also people like people who are vulnerable because there's no like, you're talking to a real person then. You're not talking to some fake person who's like lying to you. Another one you can do is if there's an awkward silence, you can explicitly say why you can't think of something to say. So sometimes what this does is it actually makes it not awkward, and it gives you time to think. So if you say like, oh, we've been talking for ages, I feel like we're running out of stuff to say. What do you want to talk about? Now when you say what do you want to talk about, you give the other person a bit of time to think that isn't awkward. Whereas if you just were silent, they would be thinking still, they would need time to think, but it would be awkward, if that makes sense. And you can also say something like, what do you want to talk about now? And it could also be like, oh, I have a question like on the edge of my mind, but I'm just trying to remember it. Now the other person will actually be quiet and let you remember it, and it's not awkward now. So I think it's a good tip for just having less awkwardness and having silences be more comfortable, because there is going to be silences in conversations. That's just how they work. Guys, if there's an awkward silence, what are some of the things you guys do if it's awkward?
Hopefully laughing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. How about you?
got quiet real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what do you guys think of doing this? So if you're like forming a question on the edge of your mind, you can say like, hold on, I'm just like trying to form my question. You reckon that would work?
Could be a bit awkward, right? Yeah.
Could be. What do you guys think of saying like, oh, we've been talking for like ages. I feel like we've run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? You can say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is you can be kind of more explicit than you think in conversation. So that's what I'm trying to prove in this video. Yeah. Thank you for being in it. It's the best. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, bro.
So I can't remember if I did this in that interview just there, but I feel like I might have gone something like, oh, let me just think about what I'm going to say, or something like that, right? It's perfectly okay to say that. In fact, it's good. Another one is you can just ask like, oh, am I interrupting you? You don't need to overuse this because then it seems unconfident. You don't want to overuse any of these. And particularly you want to say them in a confident way as well. So if you say, oh, sorry, am I interrupting you? They're just going to think that like you're too unconfident, you don't really want to talk to them. But if you go like, sorry, I wasn't interrupting you, right? I'm so sorry if I was, you can go back. Then it's kind of like you want to talk to them and you're just checking, you're respecting them again. Yeah, stand back a bit. So I'm basically trying to show how, like, if you're doing work, it's kind of a bit hard to know, like, when you should be, like, when you can talk to someone because you don't want to distract them. So that's kind of one of the 9 things I'm saying, is basically you need to tell people when you're interested in talking. And I don't think it's actually that weird to, like, say, do you want to talk, you know? So what do you guys think of that? Like, if someone said, like, do you want to talk, do you want to chat? What would you guys think? Yeah, exactly. Have fun on your cruise. Yeah, thanks. Another one is when you go up to someone, like a stranger, if you do this ever, you got to be like, oh, I just wanted to chat, or you got to make your intentions clear. So you say, you look friendly, I wanted to chat, something like that. If you just go up and ask them, so what's your name? What do you do for work? What are you doing today? It's a little bit, they don't know what you're trying to do here. And after you tell them, now they actually know, so now they can relax and they can actually talk to you. So you can't always have a conversation if they're thinking about what you're doing this for. So you can always just tell them. And the last one is ask people to come and sit with you. So a couple of days ago, I had this thing where I was like, my friends were walking past and I like waved hi to them, and then they like hesitated for a bit and then they came over and sat with me because I was sitting with someone else who they didn't know. So I'm guessing they were like, oh, should we come and sit with him? Like, you know, is he just with her right now? So there's a lot of stuff which is like kind of, it's hard to know when you should sit with someone or when, you know, it's okay to talk to someone. So you can always just say, hey, do you want to come and sit with me? Or like, be like, hey, and tap the seat next to you or something like that. And again, if you say it in a confident way, if they reject you, you'll just be fine with that, because what you're doing then is you're expressing interest, but you're not showing hurt at rejection. And that makes people like you a lot more. Even if they just rejected you, now they might regret it because they'll go like, oh, wow, that guy just doesn't really care. So if you don't care, you're confident, but you're interested. That is right where you want to be. Confident, but not attached and interested. So once you start being more explicit and saying this stuff I just told you about, you will be more authentic. You will come across as like a more confident and socially cluey person. And all around, you'll just be able to connect with people a lot better. Another element of charisma, which you may want to work on, is humor. And I got a video on that just over there. Either way, have a great day. See you next time.